What's up, Brick Builders? Mayor Brick here. Welcome back to the channel. So I was at the vet the other day and I was scrolling through Facebook while I was waiting for my dog to get his nail trim, and I found this Star Wars lot. And I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, but I do know there's value in some of the elements in that theme. And so I was looking through this marketplace listing. I saw some sand red droid elements, and I knew sand red is kind of a rare color. Took a look through the listing. It looked like there was a lot of ships. I have a side project that I'm working on. It's going to be a theme park carousel, and in there, instead of like horses and stuff, I'm going to do little Star Wars ships. So I saw a whole bunch of those in this lot, and I thought, I got to go check this out. It was originally listed for $500. He had just lowered it to $150. And so let's go take a look at that listing and see what we got. All right, folks. So now we are out in the middle of nowhere, Indiana. My daughter Josie's here with me. She's taking a little bit of a nap. We are heading to that gentleman's house. He responded quickly and said the lot is still available. And I'm not sure if the sets in there are going to be worth the price we're paying. It's about $150, I think. I'm going to give him $160. Just, you get 20s from the ATM. So I'll give him $160. I think for me, I like having all these micro sets that he has available because I want to do a Star Wars carousel with all the little mini ships and everything. The other thing I saw in this lot that was very interesting to me was all of the droids. There was the sand red and the tan ones. I don't think the tan ones are super expensive. I know the sand red pieces, those go for quite a pretty penny. I think they're like $2-3 on Bricklink if I'm not mistaken. You don't see a lot of sand red in that quantity that often, so that's another thing that attracted me to the lot. So let's go get it. We'll bring it home, we'll inventory it, and we'll see if what I paid for it is worth it or not. I think there's other reasons why I wanted this, like I just mentioned, for the carousel, getting all these at one time, not having to pay for shipping individually. So I think there's a benefit there for me, but just in general, if the lot was worth the price. So let's go pick it up and see. The lot is acquired, but my daughter is sleeping, so I'm trying to be very quiet. Super excited. The guy was so nice. He had a Bricklink store and ultimately decided to close down shop, and so that's why he's got all these multiple copies of droid parts and minifigure elements and just like all these duplicate copies. So I'm excited to get back home, open these up, part them out, see what's up, and let's go home and sort them. All right, folks, so here we have the collection I just picked up on Facebook Marketplace. There are tons and tons of elements in here. Now, again, the guy was asking, originally, actually, the listing was for $500. He recently reduced it down to $150, and that's when I reached out and said, hey, I'd be very interested in picking up this lot. I gave him $160. It was just easier to get 20s out of the ATM and not worry about change. And let's start digging through it. I think there's some organization here. I think this tub is all just loose elements and minifigure pieces. And then these two boxes over here, I believe, are little sets, those microfighter those mini ship sets. So let's start pulling these out, getting them organized, and seeing what we had. Okay, so I have most of it pulled out and somewhat organized here. There's kind of three different sections of stuff that I'm finding. There's these little sandwich bags here that have a set number and the build and instructions inside of it. And some of these probably are complete, the ones without minifigures. Some of them I don't see minifigures in, so it's possible, they were taken out. But in these bags here, there's some that have, like droids and Ewoks and other minifigures. So I think I have to go through everything first to see like what all is here versus not here. I'm really digging over here on this side. These are just loose elements. There's like bags and bags of droid elements. There's sand red droid elements in here I found. So I'm excited to dig through these. I'm going to do that. second. I think first, before I go through all these loose elements, I'm going to see what I actually have. Yeah, see, here's the sand red droid pieces, which I'm pretty excited about. These are like, they're not cheap. So I think first I'm going to go through all these sets, see what I have, and try to piece together from these loose pieces anything that might be missing. Another thing that's pretty cool is these are, there's two bags here, one of the old dark gray and one of the old light gray, which there's some pretty unique elements in there, which I'm pretty excited about. And then the third category is just some of this loose merchandise. I've never seen this case before. This looks pretty cool. It's a Lego Star Wars, I don't even know what you would call it. And then we got some blister packs from some mini building sets, and then I think like a pencil case here, and then a Millennium Falcon lunchbox maybe, or I don't know exactly what that is, but probably just give those away. I don't have any need for those. So let's take a look. Oh, and then I also found these. Now, I don't know what the situation was. He did say he was a Bricklink seller, and he would buy and resell elements from Star Wars themes, some other themes. Obviously, he has a bunch of Star Wars stuff left over. That's what I've picked up. But these two packages he must have purchased from other sellers, and these were just in the bag. So I don't think he's even opened these yet, because this is still sealed from whoever shipped it to him. So let's go ahead and actually open these out. I'm kind of curious what's in here. It's like some black, some old dark gray, just a bunch of random elements, really. Looks like these might be old brown pieces too, like the old brown. I don't know if he found them on a good price and decided to pick them up, or maybe some of these pieces are what these sets could be missing. So we'll kind of put these with the loose inventory here and see if we need those down the road. Oh, and one more thing I forgot to mention, there was a whole bunch of just instruction manuals in here. Now, I don't think these sets are here, obviously. These are bigger than the micro sets, and I think there's just the micro sets in the tubs. So maybe he had, some instructions that he was selling. I don't know. But it was kind of interesting to see some of these instruction manuals. I personally don't really collect a lot of the Star Wars stuff, so these are a little bit foreign to me, but I thought they were interesting to take a look at. Okay, so I have all of the loose elements here. We'll take a look at those second. First, I want to go through these sets and just kind of take an inventory of what we have and maybe what the rough estimate of the value is, because I think the ultimate question I have right now is, did I overpay for this? I just kind of paid blindly, not knowing exactly what these sets were worth, because there was so much in here. And then the loose elements too. It's so hard to take a look at that and appraise a value on the spot. Okay, it's 5 a.m. the next day. I woke up early again just because I was so excited to get these things sorted and into the inventory. First things first, I got all of the minifigures that are prepackaged and sorted. So I think I mentioned earlier, the guy that I bought these from, he ran a Bricklink store, ultimately decided to retire from it. He said he was 72. He probably just had these laying around for years. Nobody's really buying much. And I don't know what the story was, but he's got these all labeled, which was super helpful to identify, what they are, the value, all that. So I have all of the droids kind of that are already assembled, prepackaged, organized here. Next to that, I don't know if he had like a little assembly line and was just like slowly acquiring pieces for it, but there's, hundreds and hundreds of just loose droid pieces. So I broke those out by color, by shape, or by type. There's no real rhyme or reason to how this is organized. I just wanted to start getting some sort of system. So as I start piecing together the sets or need to assemble a minifigure, it's a little bit easier to do it with how I have it organized here. And then on this side, I have these bigger tubs, which are the loose elements that he had big baggies of. I just organized this by color. It's really fun seeing these old dark gray and old light gray elements. And then at the end, there's just a hodgepodge bin of just loose stuff. So what I'm going to be doing next is going through all of the sets that were in there, making sure those are complete. If there are any missing pieces or a missing minifigure, I'm going to come over to these stations here and try to piece it together. And I'll see you when we're done with that process. All right, so this set here is number 40083. This is the limited edition 2013 holiday set, obviously released in 2013. It looks like he replaced the cap on this. It's supposed to be black, but he put a red one on. I actually don't hate it with the red roof. This is the part that's supposed to be black. Now, there's no minifigure with this, but it does have everything else. I'm trying to look up the value on Bricklink, and it looks like it's about $35 complete. So I'm going to go ahead and estimate the value of this truck is maybe 15 to 20 bucks, simply for missing the minifigure, which is probably conservative, but I think that's a fair assessment. So pretty happy to see this one in there. I had it on my list of sets to want. So there we go. All right, next up is a sealed copy of 75391 Captain Rex Y-Wing Microfighter. This here, I think, is still a current set that's out on shelves, and from what I can see, it's about maybe $6-7 if you were to get one on Bricklink. So let's estimate the value of this is to be $7. Next up is set number 40640. This is the Lego Nutcracker from 2023. This is also a sealed set he had, and the value I can find is about $7. So that's what we'll put on it. All right, so here I have all of the ships built. I've taken out all the pieces, inventoried them, made sure they were all complete, and I've grouped all the duplicate copies together, and we'll go through and assess the values here one by one. Let's go. Okay, so first up here we have set number 7166. This is the Imperial Shuttle from 2001. Now, this does not have any of the minifigures. Again, this is just the ship only. But the print pieces here are in great condition. The windscreen and then the, what is that, a 4x4 modified plate. All of the pieces are here for the build. And from what I can gather, it goes for about $35-40 used without any figures, just the ship like we see here. So I'm going to go conservative $30 estimate. I mean, some of these white pieces are yellowed a just tiny bit, but overall it's actually pretty decent for being as old as it is. So let's go ahead and say, let's just say $30. I'm going to say $30 for the value on this. Next, we have 2 copies of set number 4485. Now, remember, I'm not a Star Wars fan, so if I mispronounce some of these names, please forgive me, but I believe it's Sebulba's and Anakin's pod racers. So again, these are the micro-scale ships, and from what I can gather on Bricklink, now these are complete, so they're used complete. We're looking at maybe $5 each, so we'll put a value of $10 for the 2 of these together. All right, next up we have 2 copies of set number 30384. These are the mini Star Wars snow speeders. I think they were a poly bag back in 2019. These don't have a heck of a lot of value. These are pretty common elements, nothing really special here. I think these are $2-3 a piece. So let's say this lot here is worth $5. Next up, we have 3 copies of the First Order Heavy Assault Walkers. These also were mini poly bags. This is set number 30497, came out in 2017. I had a little chuckle because these were packaged with these 2 little dogs, the bulldogs in front of it. And I don't know, I always thought of dogs as you look at the walkers. And so it's kind of funny that the guy had these all packaged together. Anyways, these are also pretty common elements, nothing special here. I think these are about $3 each from what I can tell. So I'm going to put the value of these 3 together here at $9. Next up are 3 copies of set number 4491. These are the Trade Federation MTT minis. These came out in 2003, and you can clearly see they're made with the old brown here, which I just love how the old brown looks. They don't, the new reddish brown doesn't really resonate the same as this old brown does, especially with Star Wars sets. And so this one here, like I said, came out in 2003. From what I can tell, a good used copy with instructions, which I have. These go for about $7 a pop. So let's say $20 for the lot here. And of course, they come with the little extra pieces. These all these mini sets, they, well, a good number of them anyways, have extra pieces to build part of another build. And then you get, you know, let's say we'll look at the walkers here in a minute, but, you know, these will likely go together, or I don't remember exactly what goes with what, but you have the main build and then a couple extra pieces for part of another build. Then you have to get another set to get more additional parts to complete it. So we'll see what I'm able to complete here at the end. All right, next we have 3 copies of set number 4489. This is the AT-AT Mini, And I like that the legs on these, even despite the small scale, there's 3 points of articulation on them, which I think is pretty awesome per leg. That's a pretty cool detail to include for something that small. This came out in 2003, and from what I can gather, it's about $13 value for a used one. Got 3 of them, obviously, so we're going about $39 here for the value of these 3. And they did have the extra pieces as well for the additional build that comes with them. So I like the walkers. I think they're really fun, and on to the next. Next up here is set number 4490. This is the Republic Gunship Mini, and this came out in 2003 as well. From what I can gather, it looks like a used copy with instructions, which I have that for both. Comes about $13 for a used copy, so about $26 here for the lot of 2. Next up, we have 3 copies of the Jedi Starfighter in Slave One Mini. This is number 4487, also released in 2003. I like the print detail here on some of the tiles, as well as little I don't know if you call that a wedge or a windscreen underneath on the Slave One. This here looks like a used copy of this goes for about $8-9. We'll say $8 to be conservative. And these 3 are complete with instructions and a little blister box. So let's see, 8 times 3, $24 is going to be the value on these 3. Next up is set number 4493, the Sith Infiltrator Mini. This one came out in 2004. You can see they got a little print dish here for the rear of the ship. And a used copy of this looks like goes for about $9. So we'll add $9 in value for this one. Next up here is everybody's favorite, the Millennium Falcon. This is the mini one. Set number 4488, released in 2003. Looks like these have a used value of about $14 each, so we'll add $28 for the value of these 2 combined. Some things I like about this are the printed dome on the top, and I have an extra one of these too. Unfortunately, I can't complete a 3rd build, but we do have 2 complete here, and then as well as the side printed tiles there, the 2x2 round. And it's a Millennium Falcon. I like the mini size of it. Next is set number 4486, the ATST and Snow Speeder Mini. I have 2 copies of these here, and I think these go for about $9 each, used with the extra pieces with them. These came out in 2003, and so we'll add $18 in value for these 2. Next up is 3 copies of the Imperial Shuttle Mini 4494. This came out in 2004, and all 3 of these are in pretty decent shape, and it looks like about $8 a piece used with instructions, so we're going to add $24 in value for the 3 of these. Now, the majority of the mini ships that we just looked at, they all included some extra pieces to build part of these ships. For example, the AT-AT might give you enough pieces to build one of these. And then, the Millennium Falcon gives you enough pieces for this part of it. And I think the idea is you want to collect all of them in that line at the time, and so you could complete one of these extra builds. Now, I don't know the names of these things, so forgive me, but yellow ship and light blue ship with black wings. So whatever these are, let me know. But I was able to get 3 of these put together with the spare pieces from the official builds. I don't think that these would be any increase in value because the values I have assume that these spare pieces came with the original sets. And I don't know if these are really ever sold on their own. I'm sure they can be, but I don't know if they would, if it's, lucrative enough. But anyways, I was able to piece together these 6 additional little ships, and I will get them added to the inventory. Next up here is set number 75128, the TIE Advanced Prototype. This came out in 2016. Now, this was missing the minifigure and the little gun. I think the gun is in a separate lot. There's a lot of just Star Wars machinery and weapons and whatnot. So I know I've seen the small gun there. The fig is definitely not. So I'm going to give, $4 for this based on what I can tell on Bricklink. Others that are selling without figs in the accessories. And same thing here with set number 75160. This is the U-Wing Microfighter, also missing the minifigure, but the ship is complete. This came out in 2017. Looks like this is going to be about $5 without the figure. All right, here we have 75250. I'm going to mess this up, but is it Pisana Speeder Chase? We're obviously missing the minifigures here, and Rey's Ray Speeder is not included as well, so I don't know, a couple bucks on this one. Let's put a value of $3 for the two of these. Here we have 75078, the Imperial Troop Transport from 2015. No minifigures here, but I do have the 4 blasters included. We're going to give a value of $3 based on the Bricklink historicals I can find. Next, we have number 6966, the Jedi Starfighter Mini Poly Bag. This came from 2005, and looks like a used value on this with instructions is about $7. Next, from 2020, we have some accessories from the Mandalorian Battle Pack, set number 75267. Again, no figs here, just a little turret and the speeder and some weapons, and the little trans red blaster, bullets. So I think we're going to give $2 on this for a value. And the last of the set builds that I have here are 2 copies of Darth Vader Transformation 75183 from 2017. Now these do have one little droid, you can see it in the middle, and the tools. I don't have any figures or any of the other droids that go with it. Actually, that's a lie. I might have some of the droids because I think what he did was he'd buy the sets, part out the minifigures, sell the figs separately, and I did recall seeing some droids I think that go with this one. So anyways, the set themselves with the instructions and just the main build, the tools, and the one droid looks like maybe about $15 a piece according to Bricklink. So we'll give $30 value here for the lot of 2. All right, next up, we're going to start going through all of these complete minifigures. These are the ones that have been either individually bagged or he's got like a little army of them. So we're going to go through the complete figs that are here. And then afterwards, we're going to go through all of these fig pieces, which are mostly droid elements. So we'll take a look at those afterwards. But let's get organizing our figs and see what we've got. All right, so the first fig we're going to take a look at here, we have 15 of the Super Battle Droid in Pearl Dark Gray with the wide head. These are fig number SW0092. Looks like these were active around 2007 to 2015, and they go for about $2 a piece on Bricklink. So we're going to give this here a $30 value for these figs. Here we have 19 battle droids in tan color with the angled arms and the 1x2 plate on the back. Looks like these had a wide range of availability. I think they're still available today. So from like 1999 to 2015. This is SW0001A. Looks like these are about $2 a piece new in the US. So we'll give this lot here a $38 value. All right, and here we have 25 of the Super Battle Droid in Pearl Dark Gray. These have the narrow head and the chest light indent. Looks like these came in about 4 sets here. These are relatively recent, from 2024 to 2025. Looks like they go for about $1 each new in the US. So we're going to go $25 value on this lot. Okay, next here we have SW0230. This is the Super Battle Droid in Pearl Dark Gray with the blaster arm. I have 31 of these. It looks like they were only in 2 sets from 2009 to 2011. And from what I can tell, in new condition in the US, these have a value of about $8. So then that puts the lot here of 31 at about $248 in value. Next here we have SW0968. This is the IG-88 without the round 1x1 plate. Looks like this only came in 1 set back in 2018, and a new copy of this in the US is about $4. So a $12 value here for these 3. Next here are 2 of SW0351, the IG-88 with the printed head. This only appeared in 1 set as well back in 2011, and looks like these are about $8 a piece on Bricklink new in the US, so I'm going to put $16 value for these 2. Next up, we have 2 IG-11s, SW1115. These came in 2 sets between 2020 and 2021, and looks like they're about $3-4 on Bricklink, so we're going to give a value of $6 for the 2 of these. Next up here we have SW0237. This is Wicket in Ewok, and this of course also only appeared in 1 set back in 2009. Looks like the value of this new is about $10.
I'm realizing that it's taking forever to open all of these individual bags. So from now on, I'm just going to show you the fig in the bag so I can get through this lot of 300 plus much quicker. Here we have SW0050. This is another Ewok with the brown hood wicket. This was in one set from 2002. And in terms of value, it looks like the value on this in the US for a new copy is about 12 bucks. Next up, we have 3 pit droids, SW0064. These are from about, I think, either 1999 or 2000. And since these are assembled, I'm just going to go ahead and label them as used rather than new. And looks like the value on these assembled is about $9 a piece. So $27 here for the 3 of these. Next, we have SW0011. This is the Chewbacca in brown, and this is from the early 2000s as well. Looks like it was in a couple of sets, and about $9 value a piece, so $18 for the 2 of these. And here we have the newer version of Chewie, 0011A. This comes in the reddish brown color as opposed to the old brown color, and this here is about $3 in value. Here we have SW1028, the Wookiee Warrior with printed legs. This came in one set in 2019, and it looks like the value here is about $8. Here we have 5 pit droids in their holiday outfits. This came from one of the recent advent calendars. I don't think these really have a heck of a lot of value, so let's just say $2 for all 5 of these. Here we have 3 pit droids, SW0039. These also came in one set back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and a value of these are about $5 a piece, so we'll say $15 for the lot. Here we have 2 more pit droids with the brown arms, SW0037. Looks like these came in 2 sets as well in the early 2000s, and we'll get $5 value for these as well, so $10 for the 2. Next, we have the battle droid in tan with straight arms, SW0001D. These are a bit more fairly common, so I think these are only about $1 each in the US, so we'll say $11 for the lot. All right, my camera died, so we're switching over to the iPhone for the rest of this. Here we have SW0095. These are your battle droid pilots with the blue torsos. Looks like these are going for about $2 a piece in the US, so for 10 of them, we got a value of $20. Here we have 10 copies of SW0001C. This is your battle droid in tan with the angled arm and a straight arm. These are also pretty common, so probably about $1 each here, and we'll say $10 for the lot. Here we have 11 copies of SW0300. This is the battle droid pilot with the blue torso, with tan insignia and the angled arms. These look like they're about $2 a piece for a new copy here in the US, so we're going to go $22 for this lot. Here we have SW0229, the assassin droid in silver. This came out in one set back in 2009 and looks like it has a value of about $1.50. Here we have 6 copies of SW0228. These are the rocket battle droids. Looks like these have a value of about $3 a piece, so $18 for the lot of 6. Here we have 3 SW0216A. These are the EV-A4D without sticker. Looks like these are about $6 a piece in the US, so we're going to say $18 for the 3 of these. Next, we have 3 copies of SW0227, the Rocket Droid Commander Battle. These are about $5 a piece, so $15 for the lot of 3. Here we have SW0359, the Commando Droid in dark brown. These are about $3 each, so $6 for the 2. Next is SW0151. This is the IG-88 from 2006, and it goes for about $3. Here we have 2 SW0360. These are the battle droid pilot with the blue torso, with tan insignia, angled arm, and a straight arm. These are about $1.50 a piece, so we'll say $3 for the 2 of them. Here we have SW0190. This is the IG-100 Magna Guard Magna Droid. Looks like this was in 2 sets in the late 2000s, and from what I can tell, the cape is what usually throws off the value, and this one looks in pretty decent condition. I mean, there's some folding at the bottom, but other than that, it looks like it's in halfway decent condition. I'm not going to put this at the new value. Let's just say $30. It looks like it's probably a fair assessment for this fig. The printing on it looks pretty good. The cape is in relatively decent condition. And so far, this is a good find to have here in the lot. Next, we have SW0215. This is the Assassin Droid White from 2008. Looks like this came in the original Death Star, the UCS version. This one gets pretty rare because of the white legs. These ones are a little bit dirty, so I'm going to mark this as used. Looks like even there, the value is still pretty good on this. I'll put 15 bucks. But it looks like this goes all the way up to like $40 for one that's in pretty decent condition. And I think it's because of those white legs are kind of rare to find. Here we've got SW0360, the battle droid pilot with the blue torso, with tan insignia, angled arm, and a straight arm. This here is about $1. Here we've got SW0095A, the battle droid pilot with the blue torso and angled arms. Looks like this is about $2. Next is SW0065. This is the battle droid pilot with the tan torso, with blue insignia, and the angled arms. This came out in 2001. It looks like these are about $5 a piece, so we'll say $10 for the two. Next here we have SW0756. This is the R0GR, Roger, and looks like this came out 2016 to 2017, and it's got a $7 value. Here we've got SW0467, the battle droid in dark orange with an angled arm and a straight arm, and this has a $5 value. Here we have SW0184, the battle droid commander with the yellow torso, angled arm, and straight arm. These came out back in 2008, and it looks like maybe $2.50 a piece, so we'll say $7.50 for the three. I got super excited when I saw this one, the SW0072 EV99, but as you can see, it's missing its head, so it's just the torso. I have no idea if there's any value in this, so I'm not even include it, but part of a EV99. Here we have some more assassin droids in silver, SW0229. These are about $1 a piece, so $3. Here we've got SW0679, the astromech droid R2-D2 with the reindeer ears. This came out in 2015, and these are about $5 a piece, so $10 for the two. Here we have 16 copies of the Assassin Droid in dark bluish gray. This is SW0683. Looks like these are $1.50 a piece, so we're going to say $24 for the lot. Here we have SW0048. This is the Battle Droid Commander, tan with the line and angled arms. These look like they're going for about $7 a piece in the US, so for the 8 of them, be $56. Here we have 5 of SW0415, the Battle Droid Commander, tan with the dot, angled arm, and straight arm. Only 2 of them, though, are complete. The other 3 are missing a head. The complete ones, I think, are about $5, so we'll say, $10 for the 2 complete ones and maybe $1 a piece for the rest. So $13. Next, we have 11 of SW1320, the Battle Droid tan with angled arms and a light bluish gray clip on the back. These are about $1 a piece, so we'll say $11 for the lot. Here we've got 10 SW0001B, your standard Battle Droid tan with the angled arms. These are about $1 a piece, so for the 10 of these, $10. Here we have 9 of the Assassin Droids in silver, SW0229. Looks like these are about $1 each, so we'll give $9 in value. Here's another EV99 without the head. So I don't know if there's any value in just these by itself, so I'm not going to add it to the tally either, but we'll add it to the other one. Here we've got 4 copies of the Treadwell Droid white and orange body, SW0146. These appeared in one set back in 2005 and have a value of about $4 a piece, so $16 for the lot. Here we've got 3 SW0550, the Treadwell Droid white and red body with the dark bluish gray binoculars. These have a value of about $6 a piece, so $18 for the 3. This here is SW1190, the Imperial Probe Droid, black and dark bluish gray body with the white plate stand. It's about $5. Next, we got SW0074, and oh boy, the B. Omar Monk trans neon orange plate. Again, I'm not a Star Wars fan, so I have no idea if I'm saying that right. But these came out in one set back in 2003, and there's quite a range of values when I look on BrickLink. So I think a conservative estimate here would be $8 a piece and $40 for the lot. Here we've got 9 SW0412, the B. Omar Monk trans orange plate. These are from 2012, and these are about $4 a piece, so $36 for the lot. Here we've got 2 of the LIN Demolition Mech Droid, SW0681. Looks like these came out in an advent calendar back in 2015, and they're about $2 a piece, so $4. Here we've got SW0147, the Astromech Droid R1G4. Looks like this has a value of about $4 and it's from 2005. Here we've got two Holokin droids. These are SW0516 from the year 2013, and these are about $5 a piece, so $10 for the lot. Here we have two of the SW0998 Praetorian training droids. I think these are about $2 a piece, so $4 for the two. Here we have two SW0459, the Imperial Probe droid with a trans-clear dish stand and the lever on top. These are about $6 a piece, so $12 for the lot. Here we have two SW0588 spy droids. These came out 2014, 2015, and looks like there is also a range of value in these, but I think $6 is probably a fair estimate, so $12 for the two. Here we've got two SW0959, the FX7 Medical Assistant Droid. Looks like these are about $3 a piece, so $6 for the two. Here we've got SW0533, the Buzz Droid, dark bluish gray dome with the zipline handle, and it's about $8. Here we have SW0211, the Interrogation Droid, screwdriver with narrow head. And we have 9 copies of this. Looks like they go for about $5. So we're going to say $45 for the lot. Here we've got SW0776, the Interrogation Droid with the syringe. And we got 6 of these. Looks like they're going for about $4, so $24 for the lot. Here we've got SW0211A, the Interrogation Droid, screwdriver with wide head. These are going for about $5 a piece, so $20 for the lot. Here we've got SW0473. We got the body of a FA4 pilot droid, but we're missing a head, unfortunately. So I'm not going to include this in the value, but it's kind of fun to see it. It's a little bit different than the other droids. And then to round out the figures, we got SW1120. Thought this one was kind of funny. It's the Snowman Gonk droid, and looks like these are going for about $2 a piece, so $16 for the lot. All right, here we have some of the printed pieces, the printed tiles. Some of these have stickers on them. There was a bin full of just individually packed parts like this. Now, I looked up every element, and none of these are worth like a crazy amount of money. Some of them are worth $1, $2 a piece. So it's hard to really put a value on these printed and stickered pieces. I'm just going to say $15 for all of this. I think that's probably a pretty conservative value. Like, I think this goes for $2. These are $1 a piece. This is $1. These little tiles, I think, are from early 2000s, and those are like $1 or $2 a piece. So, and I know one of those flags I think is worth a couple bucks. So, just gonna aggregate $15 for the lot of these. All right, next up, we're going to start going through these miscellaneous bins of droid elements and miscellaneous figure pieces. I know some of these definitely have some value, and I'm looking at you specifically, Mr. Bin of Sand Red Elements. So let's go ahead and start organizing these and figuring out what we're working with. All right, so breaking down the elements we have here in Sand Red, first I have 10 of these torsos. These go for about $2 a piece in the US, so $20 for the lot of 10. I unfortunately only have one of these 1x2 plates in Sand Red. This goes for about $4 on its own here in the US, so $4 for that piece. Then we have 14 of the Sand Red droid legs here, which are $4 a piece. These are on the conservative estimate. Some of them on Bricklink go for way more than this. So $56 for the 14 legs. Then we come down to the arms, which are in great condition. They're not cracked or anything. So $3 a piece here. We're looking at $6. And then lastly, we're looking at 4 of the droid heads in Sand Red. Also, no cracks on the clips. These go for about $7 on the most conservative end here in the US. So $28 for these. And so if we take a look out at all of the Sand Red elements, we're looking about very conservatively $114 in value for these used elements. Okay, next we're going to be looking at the value of the tan droid elements. We have 6 different elements here in tan. We'll start up here with the torsos. There are 162 of these. They go for about 8 cents a piece, so the lot here is going to be about $13 in value. These here are also torsos, but they have the little yellow or orange dot on the torso. And these have a little bit higher of a value. They're about $1 each, so I'll put $2 for those. Then we come over to the legs. There's 35 of these here. They go for about $1 each, so I'm going to say $9 on the lot. Here we have the arms that are the same on both ends. The clips all look pretty good. So, and these only go for about a penny each, and there's 67. So let's just call it 50 cents. The heads here are one of the more valuable pieces of the droid assembly. There are 24 here, and it looks like they go for about 50 cents in the US, so $12 for the lot. And finally, here we have a crap ton, about 211 of these arms that are opposite on the end. And these go for about a penny each, so we'll say $2 for the lot. So all in for all these 10 elements, we're looking at about $38.50 in value. All right, now we're going to take a look at our reddish brown and old brown elements. And to start, we'll look at these old brown legs here. These are in use condition. We have 53 of them, and conservatively, they're about 80 cents a piece used. And you can see some of them have some nicks and whatnot, so I think it's fair to go with a conservative price. And so about $42 for this lot of old brown legs. At the bottom left here, we have some printed legs. This is in dark brown. And we have one of these, we have two of these reddish brown ones, and then two of these dark brown ones as well. I think these are from a Wookiee, or I don't know exactly what it was, but the one on the left in dark brown goes for about $2. The reddish brown ones here and the dark browns are about $1 a piece, so $6 for the five of these. Up here we have the old brown short legs. These are about $1 a piece, so $10 right there. These black legs, well, the black hips with the brown legs, those are about 50 cents a piece, so $1 for the two. We have 6 reddish brown torsos with the reddish brown hands. I think these are what goes under Chewbacca's minifigure. So these are about 60 cents a piece, so $3 for the lot. Then here we have 20 reddish brown legs. These are about 15 cents each, so $3 for the lot. And then 12 short reddish brown legs here. These go for about 15 cents a piece as well, so these are about $2. And altogether on the lot of brown elements here, we're looking at about $67. And there's a couple little extra bits and bobs up here, which I did not include in the cost, but it's cool to see some spares should we need them. All right, next we have some General Grievous elements here in both the white and tan. So we'll start up here with the torsos. We have 7 of the white ones. These are about $1 a piece. Got $7 in value there. The tan ones are about 75 cents a piece, and so we have 6 of those, and we're looking at about $4.50. We have some of the tan legs here. We have 4, which go for about $2 a piece, so $8. And then I only have one of the arms for the tan General Grievous. This is about $4 in value, just for that little clip. And the clip's in decent condition. There's no cracks. And then for the white legs, we have 10 of these. They're about $1 a piece. We're looking at $10 in value. This arm, we have 6 of these. They're about $2 a piece, so $12. We have the opposite arms. We only have 4 of those, though. Those are about $2 a piece, so $8 in value. And for the entire lot, we're looking at about $53.50. All right, next up, we're looking at some metallic silver elements. For the torsos here, we have 51 of those. They're about 10 cents a piece, so $5 in value. For the legs here, we have 70 of these. They're about 15 cents a piece, so $10 in value. For the arm clips, these are the ones that have the opposite ends. I have 44 of those. They're about 5 cents a piece, so $2. And same value here on these. They have the same ends. I have 43 of these at 5 cents, value of about $2. Now I also have some, I think these are flat silver, and these are also metallic silver clips, the bar with the clip on the end, but they're so little in value, and I have so few of them, it's not even worth adding to the value here. So all in all, about $19 worth of metallic silver elements. Next up, we have some battle droid elements in the pearl dark gray color. First, we have 20 of these torsos with the wide head. These are about 15 cents a piece, so $3 in value. Then I have 2 of these here with the narrow head. These are 50 cents a piece, so about $1. Here we have 8 legs. We have these at about 60 cents a piece, so $5 total for this lot, or for the legs anyways. And then 6 of these mechanical arms here, they're about 20 cents a piece. So I'm just gonna estimate about $1 here in value for those. All in together, about $10 for the battle droid elements. All right, here we have some R2 elements. In the top left here, this is 30361PX5. Let me get it the focused. Looks like that's about $1. The next one here is probably the most valuable one out of the lot. It's 30361PB001, and it's in halfway decent condition. So it looks like a conservative value on this is about $17. Here we have three. These are not that expensive. These are about 15 cents a pop. So 50 cents for the three. Here we have three R2 heads. These are about 75 cents a piece. I just estimate about $2 in value on those. Got a dark bluish gray, or it might be an old dark gray, I can't tell. Leg, about 25 cents for that. And then I have 12 white ones here, about 10 cents a piece, so $1.25. And if we're looking at the entire lot here, it's about $22 in value, primarily driven by this guy right here, this white one. Next here we have some dark brown elements. We have 5 legs in the bottom left. We have 8 of these arms with the opposite ends, 16 of the arms with the same ends, and then 15 of these torsos with a little red dot on them. Altogether, this is about $8 in value for the dark brown elements. Next up, we have some dark orange droid elements. We have 44 of the arms with the opposite ends. We have 21 torsos. We have 25 of the arms with the same ends, and just a handful of 1x2 plates. Altogether is about $8 in value for the dark orange droid elements. All right, next we have a bunch of droid elements here in black. We have 34 torsos. Those are about 20 cents a piece. We have 74 sets of legs, about 15 cents a piece. We have 161 arms that are the same on the side. Those are about a penny a piece. And 70 of the arms that are opposite end. The hands are different on the opposite ends. Also about a penny a piece. Looking at about $20 here for the lot of black droid elements. Next up, we have the dark bluish gray elements. We have 94 torsos here. We have 10 sets of legs and a crap ton of the arms. And these are all mixed in of the 2 different types of arms. I'm not going to sort these ones. You can see there's quite a bit here. And they're all about a penny, 2 cents each. So let's call this $2 in value, just assuming that's kind of what it's been like for the rest of the colors. This here is going to be about $5 in value. They're about 5 cents each. And the legs here are about 50 cents each in the US in decent use condition. So altogether for this lot here, about $12. Next up, we have some additional random torsos that were mixed in here. We have 14 of these white ones, a red, an olive green, 2 dark brown. These ones are without the red dot on the chest. We have 4 of these guys here, 11 of these old dark gray, and then 2 of these white General Grievous ones. So altogether, after looking up the values of these, it's about $11 in value for these torsos. And next up, we just have some random minifigure pieces here. We got some short legs. We got one of those trans green aliens, some torsos, some miscellaneous bits and bops. We got a golem arm, some, I think these are Hero Factory accessories. And this copper one is pretty cool here. This copper, I don't know if it's from Bionicle or Hero Factory, but it's a cool color you don't see too often. But none of these are really worth like anything crazy. Maybe like $1 or $2 if you add all the individual pieces together. So I'm not going to include these in the total value. Same with these elements over here. These are just like random helmet, you know, stormtrooper visors, and some additional arms, some like the little, I don't know what you call those, the antenna that go on there, and then the blasters. There is a cool revolver in there in that old dark gray color, and some interesting like one-off pieces, but again, everything's like 5-10 cents, nothing crazy to add up. And lastly here for the miscellaneous minifigure elements, these are the more valuable ones that were mixed in. And so let's start in the top left. We got the Chewies. We have 8 of them here in the top left that are about 50 cents a piece. So looking at $4 in value. These 4 here are about $1 a piece, a little bit different of a print. So $1 a piece, we're looking at $4 total for these. These 3 elements here, we got a torso, an Ewok, and a trooper helmet. Looks like these are about $1 each, so $3 for the lot. And then we have 7 of these droid heads here. They're the dark orange with the yellow print. These are about 50 cents each, so $3.50 for the lot. Here we got a handful of elements that are about $2 each. We have the General Grievous helmet, we got some Ewoks, some more droid heads, a black minifigure head with the yellow eye print, and I think this is like a sand pearl blue. I can't remember exactly. This is a unique color for these battle droid torsos. So about $26 for this lot of 13. Then we got this one here. Can't quite remember the name of it. It's about $3 in value though. Began with an M. I do remember an M. Here we have 3 Ewoks in tan. They're about $1.50 each, so $4.50 for this lot. And here we have another one for $4. And here we have 2 dark bluish gray battle droid legs. They have the connection in the middle. So these actually are about $5 each from what I could find on Bricklink. So let's say $10 for those. And for this lot here of like just miscellaneous minifig accessories and wearables, we're looking at about $62. Now, the next thing I want to go over is all of these spare parts in these shoebox tubs that I have left over. Specifically, I have this huge tub of old Lycra elements that are left over, and there's some good stuff in here, like the old AT Walker legs. I think those are like $1/4 a piece for just this old Lycra gear. And I don't know, there's tons of crap in here. I have about half the size of that bin in old dark gray. We got black. We got a bunch of the reddish brown mixed with the old brown. And I love those old brown slopes. I think they look so cool. I got to figure out something to do with those. Then we have white. Then I'll skip a bin. We have the new light bluish gray and dark bluish gray, and then just all the other colors mixed together. They didn't really have a lot, so they didn't need their own bins each. Excuse me, so I just combined them all together. But I think, there is value in all of these elements as well. It's hard to say exactly what value to put on it. If you went to a Bricks and Minifigs or some other secondhand store and, got their loose elements, you get like a tub or a bag or something like that. I mean, this will be like 30-40 bucks in pieces. I'm just going to estimate, just to be safe, like $25 in value for all this. It's really hard to say, but I think $25 in value is good for a good valuation to put on it for what I can see. All right, y'all. Well, I'm working on the video now, and I just got through tallying everything up as I was editing the video. This is the first time I've been able to tally and get a total of the value, and holy crap, $1,900 in parts for $150. I think that's a pretty good deal. But you guys tell me, did I value these incorrectly? Like I said, I did all this on Bricklink. I looked up used. Well, for the figures that were pre-packaged and organized, those were new. But for the rest of them that were pre-assembled or whatever, I took a used value. All in the US. So in Bricklink, when you search for the part, I had to filter to those available in the US. Because obviously shipping's a little bit different for international with the tariffs and all of that. So I got all my values for Bricklink. That's how I did it. If I did anything wildly wrong, let me know, because $1,900 for $150 definitely is pretty cool. So let me know. What do you think? Was this a good pickup? Would you have paid more? Should I sell them? Should I keep them? It kind of is a good lot to start maybe a whatnot auction, or just start everything at like $1 or something like that. I don't know. But let me know if you enjoyed this. I had fun. Like I said, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, but I understand that there's value here. They're going to add some good character to the theme park and some of the other projects I want to work on. And when I travel to shows, it's fun to put little, things from the past in that folks will like to seek out and enjoy finding. So I get joy from it that way. So thanks for coming on by today, guys. Leave a comment if you enjoyed this. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a good one. Bye-bye.